As you can see, I need to make a new corset. This one simply doesn't fit anymore. Getting it on should not be this hard. I don't mind that I need to make a new one because it means I get to do my favorite part of corset making, inserting the busk. It's a little ironic since that was the step that intimidated me the most before I actually made my first corset. As is so often the case, I was only afraid because I didn't understand how it worked. If the busk is the part of the project that is holding you back from even trying, hopefully this video helps you. You're going to need an awl, something to measure with, something to mark with, your busk, your corset fabric, and lining fabric if you're using a lining. Specifically, you're going to need your front panels cut out from either your corset fabric and lining or 2 layers of your corset fabric. Before we even start, make sure you're working with the correct half of the front. If you're looking at the corset, the loop side goes on the left and the stud side goes on the right. Also, if one end of your busk has 2 studs that are closer together, that end goes on the bottom. You want the top of your busk to be between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch away from the top of the corset. You want the edge of your bust to line up with the seam allowance in your instructions. Next, you want to mark your loops. You can make a line just along the straight edge, but I also like to mark the loops. It stands out more and I just like making the little curved line. Make sure your 2 layers of the panel are on top of each other and take them over to your sewing machine. You can do this by hand, but the sewing machine will make this quicker if you have access to one. You want to run a straight stitch along your straight line, back stitching at the beginning and end of each section. You don't need to trim your thread between the gaps, it won't make a difference. Next, you want to press your seam flat, then open, then flat from the correct side of the panel. This will help keep your line looking nice and crisp. You want to slide the loop side of your busk in there so it's nice and snug against the seam. If you're using a sewing machine, you want to use a zipper foot to get as close to the edge of the busk as you can. It's just a simple straight stitch to secure the busk, and now the loop side is done! For the stud side, you're going to run a straight stitch along the seam allowance in your instructions. Once again, you're going to press it flat, open, and then flat from the correct side, just like you did with the loop side. Next, you're going to line up the 2 panels so they're snug against each other. You're then going to make a mark inside the little notch within the loop. You're going to use your awl to push through the mark to make a hole large enough for your stud to pass through. I usually make the hole go through the corset seam allowance as well, but it's up to you. You're going to work each stud into the corresponding hole. You're going to run a straight stitch using your zipper foot along the edge of the busk, and that's it! Now you get to take a breath and admire how nice your busk looks before moving on to the rest of the corset. The new corset in this project is part of my Meg March project. I'll link the playlist in the description as well as a list of where you can find the tools I used in this video. Special thanks to my patrons on Patreon for making this video possible. If this video helped you, let me know in the comments, and let me know if there's any other tutorials you'd be interested in. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!